All right, good morning. Let's see here, shuffle around a few of these windows still. How's it going, DJ Devin? Good morning. Coffee loaded up on my side. Oh, need that so big. Yeah, me too. Definitely been looking forward to playing around with it. Just that? Okay. So, let's, I guess, before I jump in, let's do a quick introduction. So just hello to anybody that might be new. If you're catching this in the future and you haven't watched any of these streams before, my name is Tim. I go by FoamyGuy on GitHub and Discord, as well as Twitch, although on Twitch it's FoamyGuy_Twitch, because I was not the first to the game over there. We're working on CircuitPython stuff in this stream. Broadly speaking, we work on lots of different things related to CircuitPython. Sometimes it's, the real nitty-gritty, like inside the core, with brand new features that are not even released yet. That's what we're doing today. Sometimes we're working on libraries, the actual Python code that's written for CircuitPython that allows it to interface with other hardware devices and things like that. Sometimes working on projects where it's just a particular project that uses CircuitPython. It's not necessarily part of the project or infrastructure or anything like that. So just depends week to week, different stuff going on. Right now we're looking into the core at the potential new support for animated GIFs, which I'll pull up over here. There's that. If you are new and you want to learn more, circuitpython.org, this is a good place to get started. You can also join us over on the Discord, which is linked down below, adafru.it/discord, and the live broadcast chat is the channel that is showing on the stream there, which is where folks tend to gravitate when there is a live stream on, like this one. There are live streams throughout the week for Adafruit, so check out all of those on the different days. There's I think it's like question mark showtimes or exclamation mark showtimes. There's a command in there where you can see them. I think they're pinned as well, if anybody's interested in any of that stuff. So that's where you can go to learn more. CircuitPython is an open source project, so anybody is allowed to use it on their device. You can port it to your own hardware, add support for it. Anybody's allowed to use it in their projects, use it for anything they want, essentially. And it's all free to use, but this company, Adafruit, this is their website, adafruit.com. They are the folks who are paying the people who work on the project. So there's a team of folks that work on the project full-time who are paid a salary to do so by Adafruit. There are other folks like me who work on the project part-time who are also paid in order to do so. So definitely big thank you to Adafruit, and then thanks to anybody who wants to purchase hardware from them. That's one of the ways that you can help out the project without necessarily being involved. If you buy hardware from them, that helps them keep everything running, which helps them being able to pay the folks working on CircuitPython. So GIFs is a PR here. And I have seen this in periphery, but I have not actually read through the thread yet. It's not super duper long, is it? No, okay, so I'm just gonna look through the thread here to kind of wrap my head around what else there. I have yet to do that, so. Good morning, C. Grover, how's it going? Initial proof of concept for native animated GIF. Rough at the moment, but works with the example code. A few decisions should be reached on how to handle memory. Though the main performance issues seem to be blitting so many pixels to the screen versus any GIF processing, which I could totally believe. It's definitely, as far as I can tell, in my experience, I should say, updating the screen is one of the slower things to do, CircuitPython. And in particular, on disk, I guess if it's on disk bitmap, I think is slower to update than image load bitmap, but I'm not actually sure. I feel like that anecdotally, but I never actually measured it, I don't think. Loads from the disk. It could be read from memory, but I'm not sure it will speed up noticeably. Okay, that's one thing to try, I would say. It's definitely worth a try. There is image load, I think has support for GIF, but not animation, I don't think, right now. Uses this animated GIF. It's a separate library. Does this run? Oh, that's ironic. This is actually a photo of it. Mixed in the shared module. Has to move to the library directory still. Move to the library? This library, the library used is animated GIF library right now. It's mixed in the shared module directory and has to move to the library directory still. Whether this is direct clone or a CP version, it's a header had to change, I'm not sure yet. Not done extensive testing, different types of GIFs. It'll support ones up to 320. The map object is allocated to store the current decoded frame. Makes sense to me. This allows the user to access the pixels if desired. Allows the GIF with transparency to work. I guess probably based on the palette and make transparent, same thing we have today. I guess this without a current frame in memory. It says without a current frame in memory to skip transparent pixels would require very complicated, dirty array handling. Likely slow, would no longer allow the user to access current frame easily. The map object stored in 16-bit 565. Passed to a tile grid. Color converter is used. Are these different? RGB 565, RGB 565 for most displays. So a pass through. No, I think is not. They're not different. I believe a palette object could be created to save on memory, but the palette could change each frame. Come with performance penalty. Ideally, it would be an option. Too much memory. First performance issue. Yeah, I'm unclear. Personally, I don't necessarily know the difference between palette and color converter. And pixel shader too, actually, to be honest. Pixel shader is another name. All three of them work the same from the Python code that I've seen. But I guess there's probably some difference. Nice. Oh, that's the GIF? Nice. That cut off? Just a little bit. That's awesome. I was meant to write something different, the 8-bit format, perhaps. On disk versus memory, current implementation reads from the disk. The library could read from memory. That would speed up the processing. I should say, too, also, before I dive into this is all, like, pre-alpha. It's in a PR that's a draft. So, like, everything we see related to this today is subject to change. I'm going to show it. I'm going to try to use it. We're going to try it out on a couple devices. But it is by no means, you know, out there and supported at this point. We are on the cutting edge here. Right behind the cutting edge, I should say. Mark is on the real cutting edge. Library could read it from memory. This would speed up the processing. Needs to be sending it to the display, not reading it. Works great, small and fast. I changed the header file for CircuitPython, tweaked the C in a couple locations. You can see that. I think that's similar to how, like, I think Microlab works that way as well, maybe? It's like added in, and there's a sort of like CircuitPython branch or fork or whatever of it. ESP-IDF, I think, as well, maybe? We have a clone of that that's like, we diverged from the main one. Statistics separately, the code is fast. 0.1 milliseconds? A frame off disk, jeez. 0.1 milliseconds per frame? Finding issue seems to be sending it to the display. larger the GIF, the slower the display. Yep, that's what I've definitely experienced that as well with bitmaps and tile grids. Just on KB2040. Couple of speed. Not reading the time between the frames from the file. Play frame. Turn the delay to the next frame. Return a tuple, maybe? Is that awkward if it returns a tuple where it's like first value is success failure, second value is delay? Or could it be something like any positive number is success and also the delay, and then like a -1 or whatever is a failure, and therefore also doesn't, well, but would you need the delay? You might want to still need the delay though, I guess. Separate module. This GIF. Move it to GIF.io. Okay, so it looks like it has updated play frame to return the delay. GIF.io. This GIF. What was that? It's probably, I think that's in sample code inside the doc string. Values, it should be updated one frame into memory at a time. Play. That's a good question, I guess. More specifically, it's like, I assume it's like, we'll see it once we actually play with it. I assume play frame is like render the current frame, and it sounds like also maybe return the delay until the next frame. So render into the screen, or I guess more specifically render into the bitmap type object, which is then connected to the tile grid, which is then going to get shown on the screen, possibly through a group. We're going to try to build. Can I do this from here? Yeah. Can I search in this? Is there like... Is there like a search? Indulge in a slight rabbit hole. GH CLI PR search. Search PR's query. GH. That's weird that it's GH PR list, but then GH search PRs. They're like backwards. GH search PRs. GIF? Animated GIF? There's been a couple attempts at this over the years too. Can I order by time? Closed? Created. I don't want to filter though. I mean, I guess we could filter. Order. Order of results returned ignored unless the sort. Ascending, descending. Sort. String. created, updated. Created, no, sort, created. No, this is like other stuff. This is like not CircuitPython. Was it like that before? I guess so, actually. I didn't notice these were not a bunch of these are not CircuitPython. Huh. Why? Okay, anyway. I think that's enough of that one. Maybe it's mad because we're not on the root. And 549. Link on it would be neat. Subject to change. Animated GIFs have a delay parameter, so you can set how long each frame delays for. Delays built into proper GIF handling. Ensure smooth playback. Yeah, it's nice, but it's not the end of the world if it has to be manual to start. I don't think, at least. Like if there's advanced frame or whatever, and the Python code has to actually call that, I don't think that's too bad. Did it? Didn't actually check out, or I know it failed actually. Please commit. I don't know why I have this change in socket pool. I'm pretty sure the formatter did that when I ran pre-commit one time, but I don't understand how the copy on my computer got into a state where the formatter changed it, because like the formatter presumably would have changed it before it got committed, pushed into GitHub, from which thereafter I pulled it, so I don't see how that could have changed, but somehow that seems to have happened. I checked out a version, the formatter then has changed it, and now I have that uncommitted change of what the formatter did, because I never actually committed it. We can update this thing. How does this work again? We go in here, scopes. Actually, I wonder if this will be mad if that folder then disappears after. Gonna be mad about that? I can just come back and remove it if so, I guess. Oh, it switched back. Why did it do that? That's weird. GIF writer. Is this for creating a GIF? Jeff wrote this at some point. I don't know what a GIF writer object would be. Yeah, it seems like it. Add frames. Fix bitmap. Has a readable buffer. Interesting. In your old Logitech C 510 webcam. Lost the housing. Nice. It ain't broke. I don't know. The case doesn't need it. No reason to just buy a new one. But yeah, it is. It's definitely a really cool feeling to print out a replacement for some widget that's just like in, there's just no other way to get that case, right? Like, there are boxes of them in a warehouse somewhere, but they're not going to sell one to you, and you can't just like get a replacement one. But it's easy enough to design, or if somebody has already modeled it and you can print one out, that's like super cool. Fixed a few things in prior cars that I've had. Fixed a few things around my house like that as well. I do have to set up the sun blocker though, so I'll be right back. Okay. And all the testing was done on RP2040 as I understand it. So to start with, I'm gonna use the Pico system because it's an RP2040. But I will also go back and try the feather as well, which will be expressive, and maybe we'll try some other ports. We'll see where we get to. I always forget. How to go to bootloader mode. That might have been it. No? New one on the 1/4 inch? Yeah. Standard, the standard 1/4 inch 10 or whatever, the standard screw for like tripods and stuff, that's definitely a super nice thing to design around. Is it for Octoprint when the Pi 4 gets delivered? You see the blue-green TR cowbell? I have not caught show and tell from this week, actually. I need to go back and watch it. I went out this week with family for dinner on Wednesday night. And so I was not back around until much later in the evening. I will check it out, though. Got the new case showed up on there. Yeah, I gotta find how to get back to, and I don't have a build yet, but like we're gonna have to figure this out to in order to use our build. Is this bootloader to get into bootloader? Turn your Pico system on while holding down the X button. So that's actually what I tried, but it didn't seem to work. That was what I had in memory. I guess not X. That's definitely X. This doesn't turn on. Oh, that time it did. Oh, but it's gone already. Oh, now it's back. Okay. Okay. Hold X while it powers on. Nice. Nice. We want to go inside of here, I guess. Really, I just want to see system. Make board. This one. Okay, easy enough. So we will need to adapt the sample code a little bit, but we're mostly going to be cutting out the stuff that initializes the separate display. Is that a link into it? Here. Back. So we won't need to do that. Can do that, that's fine. We can get rid of all this, I think. I guess if we wanted to try modifying the spy bus like this, our display is going to be already configured. So we could come back maybe afterwards if there's any thought that it might be any different to re-initialize it, but ours will be initialized by the core. And we can get it by just going display like this. I will have to find a GIF. Use Homer in this thing. Link. Guessing that's Homer Simpson probably, but we can find some kind of GIF. Actually have Badger. They're doing converted though. They give us the converted one. May not want 320. Reduce the frames. Optimize Badger. So the screen, my screen's 240 by 240. You know, I feel like we probably should try like Party Parrot first, right? Official Party Parrot source. It's 494. But we could use that site to get down some. Easy GIF. Late last night, I refactored this puppy for the 7th time. It's not ready to send to Osh Park. Getting close. Always a good feeling when you're ready to send it off. Direct Precision VCO for generating accurate note frequencies, accepts MIDI inputs as well as AM/FM modulation signals. Nice. Itsy Bitsy M4. Integral floating point. Beginning of the synth is a waveform generator. It's freaking awesome, yeah, for sure. Grab this. Dipped in there. What's up? Ah. Nice. I like it. Yeah, that came out real nice. I like that teal. How does the I like the way you put the D-pad to make the little outline of the D-pad for the buttons there. It's kind of cool because you can give the buttons more or less depth of a feel. Yeah, that's awesome. Nice job. Fitting that you get to show it on Show and Tell with Noah and Pedro. Yeah, I gotta go back and catch that whole episode. Let's see, I think resize is what we would want. Oh. It's only 126. Wait, really? Oh. Okay. Maybe we should just try it as it is. I thought it was... Didn't that thing say it was bigger? Maybe should we go Giphy instead of... I do like the glasses one, though, I'll be honest. I feel like the glasses Party Parrot's where it's at. Full size. Is that not what you download? Is it because I did SD? I don't know if you can have question marks in file names. That's the same size. I don't think that's mattering. I guess this, maybe part of my problem is... Oh yeah, I don't know, those look like they change, but it doesn't... As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to make a difference. There's no actual, like, download. That gets you to this page. This has random sizes that are different. Okay, so it should be small enough, so maybe we can try it by itself. I don't like hyphens very much. Nicholas had a project where she used a bigger Party Parrot. Yeah, there's a couple out there. Little Party Parrot specials. A bunch of them though well, the bunch of the ones I would see, I would have seen at least, all the CircuitPython ones use a sprite sheet rather than a GIF, although it came from a GIF ultimately somewhere, but default Osh Park mask, quite a bit darker than the rendering, made it more transparent to help inspect the trace and fills. Interesting. Designing, prototyping, adjusting for a month. Nothing like a crisp wave in the morning. Hero GIF. Oh, okay. There's an outline of one. I'm gonna try the color one. Party Parrot. There's space. I'm gonna change this to main group. Frames. So then we go frames equals 0, start time, measure FPS every 10 seconds. Frames plus 1 results equals GIF play frame display refresh. I'm monotonic. It looks like this, well, it has a result, I guess. I was gonna say it looks like this one's not using, it doesn't look like it uses the result though. I'm not sure if it's still doing the delay, like return. Fair, no module named, oh, yeah, that's fair. Get rid of that. Nice. It doesn't clear the previous frame, it looks like. But that is certainly more Giphy than all CircuitPython prior. So the left is odd as well. The left side is not filled in, but the right, or I guess vice versa. The right side is dark, but the left side is like that teal. We slowed it down by printing as well. Always 40. Is that supposed to be 40 milliseconds per frame? I wonder, I mean, auto refresh is on still, I think. Should I turn that off? Maybe we should turn that off. Be curious if this does anything, not really. What happens if we take this out? I think our problem is that auto refresh is on, maybe. Well, one of them. That's super fast right there, though. That's a good sign. I mean, that definitely makes it look like it could go plenty fast. Okay. No. That one is slower, but it does still do this like background thing. Yeah. Input color space. Is there any reason to think that we need to do make transparent or something? No length. Really? Seems odd. It's probably partially where my lack of understanding the difference between palette, color converter, and pixel shader. Converts one color format to another. Okay, so this one's decidedly different than palette. Seems like. Doesn't have a list, it just takes one input, gives one output. But wow, but what about this? And does this take an index? I mean, it's not, it can't be an index because there's no list seemingly. So, but this takes a color like red, 0xFF0000? Yeah, I don't get what make transparent would do in the context of this. If this just takes one color input and then spits out the different format, I mean, does it give you back none if it's transparent or something like that, maybe? Can you... Interesting. Can you access it like these? No. Make opaque instead. I mean, they should go together, I think. I just don't know what... I don't know what they... I don't understand how they would work within the context of this object. Need to probably do some basic probing on color converter and figure out what it's actually doing. Did you flip-flop between frames? I don't know for sure. Input color space. Spend just a second here, back all the way up, and try to gain a better understanding of what this does. Nice and easy. 0. We do hex still? Okay, well that's a confusing start already. Only 4 digits. 565, so it's like it doesn't have as many. Guess I need to give it smaller colors. It's like shifting to the right, kind of. I see, okay. So make transparent will make it so that color gives you back 0 instead of it's whatever it would be. Interesting. That's a bit weird. It's like... Interesting. Confused about how to use color converter. Is it a static or dynamic filter pipe? What are the inputs and outputs? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm a bit perplexed on kind of which part of the puzzle it is exactly. I don't think very many. I don't know of things that use it really. I mean, I guess it must be. I think it's kind of core is about converting from 888 to 565. But having, I don't know, the transparent feels awkward to me. I don't quite follow why it would have. It's like got colors that are saved as ignore this color, kind of, which is a bit how palette works, but this isn't really a palette. It's not like a list of colors. It's like a function that converts from one to the other, but it's also inside this object. It's an odd one. How does it, yeah, how does it supplant or supplement palette? That's a very good question. And then dither. It also has dither, which is another kind of layer. No idea what that would do. In our case of this one, it didn't do anything. Can you count in hex? Can I do like kind of slow, but yes. On the slow side. How big is that actually? Okay. Okay, so we should have two lists. Okay. For the first 255, does it generate any difference? Probably turn off the print. Yeah. This will actually go a lot faster if it doesn't have to print during that. Scrolling a bit too fast for me to see if they're different. It's the same to me. No differences. And then if we're not printing, I can maybe do a bigger list. Oh, ran out of memory. Nope, can't quite do that. Okay. Three? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this actually does anything. I feel like I've learned how color converter is not like palette, so part of the puzzle is revealed. Okay. I will... Yeah. It's going to be pretty important. Yeah, no, I think it will eat it up quickly. M0 I don't necessarily agree on. It would be cool if it worked there, but I wouldn't. Personally, I don't think it's priority, because M0, there's very little display I/O port for M0 anyway. Like, it technically works, but you have so little RAM left over that you can't hardly do bitmaps. And that means like a bitmap file, or also just a bitmap in memory to manipulate pixels on. You have very little left over. Like the Circuit Playground Express with the Gizmo add-on is kind of like the one sort of like, this is an M0 device and a display is explicitly intended to be supported on it. Pretty much everything else is M4 and higher. And that Gizmo, like, you can't even, I don't think you can display an image the full size of the screen if you use the Circuit Playground Express instead of the Bluefruit one. So yeah, my baseline assumption is GIFs are probably pretty much out on an M0, unless you're talking about like 8x8 or 16x16 or something incredibly small. Maybe scaled up, so you could have kind of a pixelated Minecraft vibe going potentially, but I would definitely assume it's either not going to work at all, or it would have to be incredibly small. M4s though, for sure, I think, like PyPortals and things like that, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work on that. Whoa. That was weird. Can you copy WebIms to Discord? Yeah. It does. See if Mark has any thoughts. And what are we right now? We're auto refresh off. Seems like it's basically just going as fast as it can. Although it was a bit faster with auto refresh. So if you don't call play frame, what happens? It's just stuck on one frame. Yeah. Let's pull this back a bit here. Simpsons didn't have any transparency. Okay, I could try out one with no transparency. Maybe. I'll have to figure out how to modify it. Yeah, I'm not sure, actually, how to cut the transparency out of a GIF. We'll give it a try. I don't do a whole lot of GIF manipulation. I want to try... Does it call refresh? Okay. Yeah, the teal is tough. I was going to try to find one that we could do make transparent. Like, I guess maybe one of these ones, but I don't want to accidentally mess up one of the actual frames either. See if we can get rid of transparency. We just do white. Doesn't have white. Maybe some kind of gray is a better choice. I shouldn't go straight to my drive, but Interesting. Okay. You do not have the full thing there. I feel like we got quite a few frames in there as well. Interesting. Is that any different? Seems the same every time. Doesn't actually run anymore for some reason. 100 frame count. Back to about the same speed. Bucket fill. Oh, on each transparent section, we could do that. Doesn't collapse. Somehow it's broken anyway, though. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking it's likely any edit I make in here is gonna cause the GIF to be broken. Oh, these are not the full size either, so I can't actually draw outside there. Oh, nice. Going to the zoo trip. Transparency? Okay, yeah, we'll try to knock one out. Download this one, maybe. Can't do multiple frames at once. There's no alt. I don't know if this is necessary. Feels like it might be, though. Wish you could do this to all of the layers at once. GIF. Suppose I didn't really look at what the options on that thing were. Interlace, GIF comment, has animation, loop forever, delay between frames, frame disposal. I think this would be messing it up. Well, it's... I don't know, we're still not moving. I think these GIFs are broken. That come out of GIMP. This one doesn't go here either. Did it? Or these? That one does. Okay, well that's probably part of why this doesn't move, is it's just doesn't broken. None of these move. Okay. Well, fair enough. Didn't work. As animation. Okay, it does move there. It's definitely a better start. That was awfully slow. Override it with the terminal there. What we're doing now. It stopped. Oh. Colors are messed up. But it animates. Three frames for full 240, 240. I don't know what's up with the colors. Probably the colors are... That's probably a... It's probably like a 365 or 565 versus 888 type thing there. Probably the color converter is not converting to the right type that it needs, maybe. Let's rearrange. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Maybe we don't. Okay, hold on. Back to indexed. Go to here. It's to be indexed, I'm pretty sure. Animation. Alright, let's try this one. 477 kilobytes. Can I send you the GIF that isn't working? Yeah. We have a few at this point that aren't working, but the this is the one we started with. During file save? I don't know, you mean milliseconds delay during file save? Parameter? I'm not sure what parameter that is. Color converter changes. They're probably 565, but BE. I don't know what's BE. We do still have, yeah, there's still, it's like swapped with blue and green, I think, right? Like it's showing us blue for the grass. Well, it's not grass, but whatever it is. Bushes. They should be green somehow. Nine frames. %. I renamed it before I pasted it. Try the swapped. Oh, 565 swapped. I can do that. Valid file. Not done saving. Oh, well, maybe it's done saving. It's an invalid file now. I like that one for some reason. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make it faster. The speed, it's already way slower than 100 milliseconds, which is what it's set on. But it's because it can't update the screen as fast. I think that's also, it says on less specified or something. What else does it say? We can try it if I can get one that's exported from here to render, but I think it's very, 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 very unlikely that changing this will make it render faster like a computer, basically. Because that's 1/10 of a second, and the way it, like when this one's back to running here, that's like closer to half a second or something. Like it's multiple times slower than that 100 milliseconds. It suggests that we're waiting on something else besides that, I think. Hey, don't grab my foot, buddy. We can try it though if we get one that is exported from here and visible. I don't think we're gonna get faster than this. I know, like, it'll be cool if we can. I'll be super stoked if we can, but like, I don't think we get faster than this with a GIF this size. Now, you know, tiny little one down here, something in the corner or wherever. I guess it doesn't have to be in the corner. It can render at a speed that actually tricks the eye to animation, but this kind of thing, it's always, until we can get some kind of speedups internally in display IO, I think this is, because this is pretty much what a tile grid would be as well, right? Like if you had a sprite sheet with a tile grid and you change the indexes of your tiles, I think this is about kind of the same speed you would expect for this size image in current display IO and CircuitPython, just kind of how it is for that size. Smaller images though, like smaller one, you can definitely speed it up quite a bit, but oh, we paused. Oh, I see. Camera died. Fresh, I guess. And then the zoom is going to be all blurry. Okay. I swapped. Sorry, I'm still getting back to try the swapped. Yeah. That's probably it. Yeah, there we go. So I will say one thing that's worth trying, I think, is we did this earlier and this made it faster, I think. I did auto refresh on, and then I did don't call refresh here. I don't think the difference is that much with this one. That was back on the Party Parrot, which was smaller. In fact, we slowed down a scotch. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, probably not like a noticeable amount, but 2.96 versus 3.02. Interesting. Won't render faster unless they're reading the delay and pausing. Code won't pause between frames unless you tell it to. I have an idea for what may be up with the parrot GIF. What else? I think it's always drawing at Y0. Changes happen in lower down. Not sure I understand. Always drawing at Y equals 0, so the top of the screen. And the changes happen lower down. It's like something to do with the way the layers were not matching the canvas. Not sure I understand what you mean. I did notice this though, like each layer, its rectangle is like down here, much smaller than the size of the full actual canvas. This is pretty sweet though. I'm happy with Homer syncing into this thing here. Also has transparency, so I didn't have to redraw. Uh, yeah, that's probably true. I think that's probably true. I mean, it was smaller for one thing. I think smaller is probably the thing that helps it the most, but because it had the big swaths that were the same color, this one it does feel like is changing more pixels each time, right? While a bunch of them are changing from like some shade of green to some other shade of green, they're still changing. Whereas with Party Parrot, it seemed like that whole left corner just stayed the color it was, and the whole top right corner stayed the color it was, which was black or not drawn. In that case, I saw it. Something with that. I'll have to look at what the draw function I'm getting is probably missing something. Okay. Saw it on another GIF I had from ages ago, but didn't look into it. So can you add a background on this? Overlay? Effects? Not really. Color filter. Gonna layer it on top. Replace color with transparency. Go backwards from that though. Reverse that? Seemed like it. Okay, there's a few more, I guess. I guess I'll do this. This is probably the last one of these. And you'll modify the frames that I can bring myself to do, though. Let's go to the computer first. Ten, it looks like, was the lowest. I do not process upper left corner parameters. Oops. Nice. But I could help you discover that. Oh. That's interesting. treating the background as a frame, which means we get one frame where the entire thing blinks. That is not quite what I was after. Interestingly, it actually ends up tricking it to look pretty good. We cut this out. That's looking pretty smooth. That's way faster, but jumpy. I guess this is probably even too fast. Going so fast that it's like makes it jumpy. Does scale slow it down? You scale the group to be bigger. Technically, it's drawing more pixels, right? Does that make it go slower? Or because of the way that it's like, does it just multiply in the background somehow? It was quite a bit slower with this one, but still, this is like smooth. It's got the blink. I think I did not manage to cut this frame out successfully. Like this is still here. Let's delete this layer. Try one more time. There we go. Now we don't have the black, like the blinking frame of full black. Get a bit of tearing as it refreshes, but it's pretty smooth for the size that it is. Like, this is probably, my instinct is this is probably around the biggest size GIF where you can get the animation that kind of like, you know, fools the eye into motion, right? Once you reach a certain slowness, it starts to look more like a slideshow than an animation. Whereas this one is still on the animation side, albeit with tearing. Of course, part of that is the camera there as well. Although, no, the tearing, I mean, tearing is definitely visible to the naked eye as well. But the animation effect does come through. We're at about 11 here. Curious if scale changes anything. Delay is saying faster parrot equals harder parrot. Hardy party, that's true. Harder party. Scale slows it down, okay. Oh yeah, quite a bit slower. See what it prints here. Back down to 3, which is about what we saw for the full size one. We're a little bit faster because we're a little bit not quite full size. There's actually a chunk there that's... Delay is saying 40 milliseconds, and at 40 FPS, each frame is taking 25 milliseconds. So technically, you should delay 15 milliseconds. What is it? Where does it print the delay? Minimum delay, maximum delay. Oh, but it's divided them. Did it? Oh, is up here, 40. That is interesting, actually. I'm surprised. 40 is what it was always returning before as well. I did change this thing at one point. Delay between frames. It says where unspecified, though. I don't know what where unspecified would be. What? Whoa. You're gonna have a nice time and be safe. At the crafters?
No.
Oh. Oh, nice. Seems like it's kind of weird. GIF, it feels, is pretty pigeonholed, I guess, into GIMP here, because it's like normally in GIMP each of these would be a frame and they would be layered, and like that's the visual that we're getting here. It turns out these also have time associated with them somehow. I'm not sure I understand how. This is like they just put it in the name, it feels like. Is that part of a spec? Just use the name? Replace? Should we use replace on all of these? Alright, I know I said I was probably done with this. This one's only half, though. This is about 10, which isn't too bad. I want to say... Oh, these all say 40. Okay. Mind me, just not having noticed this before. This one should be placed too? Oh, no, no, no. Why? What the heck? That's not undo. Goodness. I mean, it is undo, but it skipped the thing that I wanted to undo and just started undoing things I did before. What? Oh, it can only go in units of 5. Seems like. You have to think just to make sure I get. Thanks for the parrot GIF. Gonna have to think just to make sure I get misparameters added in properly. I gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for working on this. This is awesome, by the way. I'm super stoked. Turn the scale back off. See if this one is any different as far as the animation. It looks about the same to me. But I don't necessarily know that I would notice. It does still say 4040 here, so maybe that didn't take effect. It's possible that whatever we're doing is not actually working, basically. Kind of getting the sense that GIMP is not the best thing for editing the GIFs, pretty much. Like, doesn't seem like all the changes work exactly. Go click the layer. Animations. It's the delay to the next frame. So you could theoretically, you could go play frame, refresh, count how much time was taken, and then sleep as needed to make up the correct amount of delay. Maybe it could be like, maybe it could be kind of like the LED animation API, where the user code is responsible for calling animate, you know, quickly inside the main loop, and then internally the thing itself is responsible for, like, if a certain amount of time has passed, then it's time to render the next frame, so we do it, but otherwise we just return quickly back to them and just nothing happens. That way, like, user code spams animate, and then the thing just updates whenever the time comes. That might be nice to kind of take inspiration from the way LED animation... I mean, not really like the way it functions, but the way you interact with it from the user code, the API, I guess, the way you call into it. Okay, I am gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, and then we will try to make a build for Espressif and try this on the Feather TFT, because I'm curious to try it out on some other ports as well. So we got that there. BRB. Okay. Espressif will need the pragma thing posted earlier. Could have playFrame that checks the delay, then have playFrame override time true. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like that way. So you could kind of tell it whether you want it to do its own time or not. Be cool. Okay. Let's go... Like that. I always forget this is one of the ones with the battery in it. Unplug it, and I'm like, what? It's still on. What is this? Stuck on. get this in a way where it's not like it's positioned nicely for the frame, but it's also not in my way here on the mouse. Piece of fuzz on it there. I am curious. Oops, I am curious what how it fails. Just like I'm always down to see a way that a thing can fail and then learn the way to fix it. That way, if I see a similar thing in the future, I have a chance to recognize it and know how to fix it. So I'm actually curious. We may not. I actually did not reboot my computer yet since yesterday, so it might just still be exported or whatever. However, I don't know the. I guess we just get back to. Let me do a clean. Unused variables. There it is. Okay. Cast increases alignment of target type. Okay. And then this from back up here. Cast a line. Cast a line. This to the top of GIF C. Is it in initC? No. The GIF writer? Or is this a different one? Is it not in GIF.io? I don't have the code on this one anymore either. Actually look at the code very closely. Yeah, I have the wrong module. Oh, right now it's in display.io. Okay. Okay, yeah. What is GIF.io? Interesting. Guessing this is the one where it belongs. Should it be at the beginning or after the includes? Something. There, this is saying which file isn't a lib. Okay, I think I'm in the wrong file. This is right at all. It's probably inside of lib. I can't actually see because of this. Let's get back to here. I'm gonna do a clean also. Line 1. Oh, I don't remember. Did I put it at line 1? I think I did after. Be okay there, I think. Okay. I've never seen this pragma. I don't know what this. See, ignored. It's like passing another thing to the builder. Interesting. Okay, we got the build. Loader. I don't want to get the code from the other device. Keep a copy of that. Does ignore that warning for that file. Bad idea generally, but will not be the long-term fix. I gotcha. So then it's RP2040 does different alignment or whatever. There's something different about the RP2040 CPU that allows it to handle that bit of it or whatever. I like been in the right ballpark with that. Didn't actually refresh. Strangely, which actually gave us I didn't copy the image. Created a few more, right? Didn't we create up to like 6 or something? I don't remember what the differences were. Oh, it looks like I pasted a bunch of them too and never did actually try them. Oh, only one actually though. Interesting. We try 6? Maybe that's why that one was still on 40. I think one of the last changes I did was the 15 milliseconds. Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's 20 though. But I guess that stands to reason if it doesn't allow, like 10 milliseconds is the smallest it seems to allow, I think. Nice. That's actually faster, honestly. Isn't it? I mean, it looks faster to me. That looks buttery smooth on this one. Still a little bit of tearing, like the horizontal tearing. Part of that may get better once it's good at erasing the previous frames as well. Like right in this area, I can kind of see the horizontal line that sort of pops out there. That's pretty darn good. 200 megahertz faster CPU. Okay. Yeah, that's actually really nice. That's better than I ever would have expected to get, truthfully. So I guess it's time to start adjusting my my expectations upward a bit, huh? That is awesome. Got one more here. I think I'll probably wrap it up for the day after this. Upside down, that's all right. It's 240 megahertz single core. Also notice S3 does slightly better than S2 as well. CPU definitely matters. This GIF. Oh yeah, we'll need to make a build. This is Titano, I think. Yeah. Gonna catch those weird things I didn't think of and see. I'm happy to help out in any way I can. This is awesome. We're gonna have to tell Ann to get back to the brainstorming whiteboard. I'm gonna knock out her CircuitPython 2023 because I roll away in February. So we'll go CP. This I assume will be slower. Yeah. Parrot is on the line, but not quite right yet. Nice. Is in line, but not quite right yet. Right. Yeah. Get that to, actually 6 is the one I pasted on. There we are. Upside down, but changing the rotation matter at all? Nice. It's actually pretty good as well on the pipe portal, honestly. I was expecting the SAMD to not be able to keep up quite right. Of course, that's part of the frame thing too, though, right? The way it's not erasing the one behind, I think is, see a bit of a different tear in this one. Honestly, all of the tearing might get better when it does that. I wonder if what I'm seeing is actually tearing or if it's the top of the box of the behind frames. That's actually quite smooth on SAMD. Can hear myself in there. Nice. Parallel display on this one. Okay, so then we speed up what we lack in CPU, we gain a little bit back from, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. We can transfer data to the screen faster. No, you're fine. So while the computer can't process the frames as fast, we can transmit them to the display faster. Interesting. So it's like an interesting balance. I wonder if we can run parallel display from ESP32S2 or parallel display from a Pico RP2040. Is that going to be the fastest one? Probably, right? Weird sound. Artifacts on the left side. I mean, some of it is the stack of the frames. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay. PS truck is outside. That was. GIF.io is good for me. Okay. Oh, that's what they were. That's why I had GIF.io. They're talking about moving it, but it hasn't been moved yet. I think. Folder. That was weird. Actually. Yeah. Okay. It'll eventually move over, it sounds like. Pico PO versus S2 for animated GIFs is the question of the year. Yeah, PO. I'm interested to dive into PO a bit, see what it can do with displays, see if it ends up speeding our display stuff up or not. Will definitely be an interesting. I have to learn so much though. Like, I haven't even done even the most basic PO Hello World stuff, so I got to start basically at square one for sure. Square zero. State machine versus brute force speed. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for there. So we got it on. We did try a couple of different ports: RP2040, Espressif, and then Atmel. All three seem to be working the same. Should we try? Let's try the Homer one actually. Play it out with the Homer one on the PyPortal. This was the last one we got to work, I think. I don't remember what the speed was on the other ones. That's actually pretty good. That's actually quite a bit better, honestly. A parallel display actually does make a pretty big difference. Five frames, so an additional 2 frames per second. However, it does say the delay. It does show the delay set to 100 there. So we're closer here. We might actually be able to gain a bit this time by speeding that up. On the other device, it didn't feel like we had any room to grow there. Whoops. They just say 100 in each frame. I wish I could edit all of them at once. Okay. 29 things. You're gonna try it? No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna do it. I need to figure out with PIL or something. I need to figure out a way to edit them all at once. I don't want to go through all of them one by one again, rather. Change the delay won't speed it up unless you're delaying yourself as it isn't automatic. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. And I'm not. I still have the sample code. Okay. Yeah, that's going to change what this returns, but since we're not doing, yeah, that's a good point. Since we're not doing anything with what it returns, we don't actually have the delay built in. I put a commented one at one point and I was printing it at one point, but yeah, it's not respecting it. So that's not actually going to make a difference. That's a good point. Yeah, thank you for the heads up on that. So that, yeah, it won't change anything. I'm extra glad I did not go through the list, knowing that it won't do anything. But that's pretty good. A couple extra frames, 2 more frames per second. I mean, this gets to the point where it's actually like, feels like a GIF. Not quite smooth, but this one is also a little bit more chunky, I feel like, even on the PC. Nice. You have a 100 frame GIF, there's no way you're gonna edit each frame? No. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there definitely is. Gotta figure out what it is. I mean, there's probably better tools as well. It feels like, honestly, it feels a lot like the GIF support was kind of tacked on to the side of GIMP, like kind of reusing the idea of layers, just morphing that into frames and shoving it into the right box or whatever. It doesn't necessarily feel like it was built with that in mind. It feels like that was added in. So there's probably a tool at this point that's actually made for GIFs that would be better. But even like PIL editing the file or something, even something like that would be preferable to manually doing each one. So I think I'm gonna start to wrap it up. Let's see. I do have a couple of folks on Twitch. I don't always raid after I stream. I'll take a quick peek at the who's on, see if there's anybody interesting in software stuff. See if we can pass along some folks. All the categories are like way different. What's going on here? This one's about twice the size. You make it smaller. Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, if we shrink it down, it will for sure speed up. What is going on with this screen? I cannot find... Any Python? Anthony writes code. Django? Docker? Putting a racing game with Pygame? That sounds pretty fun. It's a bit different. Let's do that. Alright, so we're going to raid this person. Plyspom iTalks on Twitch. They're working on a racing game with Pygame, which looks pretty sweet. So check them out if Python and programming and games are something that is interesting to you. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, here in the chat and watching along wherever you did. I will see you all next time. I should be back. At some point on Monday, stream a little bit, and then deep dive on Friday as usual. So I will see you all then. Hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll figure out. Take me a second here to get the raid going, but I will try to do that. Start raid. It's this countdown thing here. Raid now. There we go. Thanks, everybody.